When it comes to data, I mean, data is very important because it gives you the opportunity to be able to make informed decisions. If you're going to make a decision about whether to invest in healthcare or invest in education or invest in agriculture, you need to have data in all of these sectors to inform you, like, what is the most pressing issue that you should be addressing. And if you don't have data, you certainly wouldn't know which one. And you end up doing guesswork. And your guesswork may be very wrong. And if it is wrong, there's really nothing you can do. And so the importance of data is to guide decision making and make sure that when you target an intervention or you want to implement a policy, that you are implementing it in the right places. I think the critical thing comes down to the priorities that people give to data. Often we think that data is not our priority. If you have money, the immediate thing is to invest in the areas that you think need resources. So you want to be able to provide desks for school children, or provide lunch for school children, or provide beds for hospitals and clinics. But then you should also know that if you invest in really collecting data about the people on the continent, their priorities, and making sure that you have good quality data, just even about the population itself, can go a long way to informing how you then invest these resources, because you may be investing your monies in areas that are not really a priority. And so if you do that, then you are creating a lot of inequality across different groups. And so that's why it is important, as we invest in the areas like education, health, that we equally invest more on getting data from these sectors to inform decision making. Right, so talking about Ghana specifically, free education, there are two ways you can approach it. There's one way is to you do something. It shouldn't be a blanket thing. If you have good quality data, you don't necessarily have to make it a blanket free education. You can actually go in and do some means testing, where it is people who are capable of paying can continue to pay school fees, and then it goes to subsidize people who are unable to pay their school fees. But if you don't have good quality data as to who is capable of paying, then you end up just giving a blanket free education system. But then when that happens, you don't also have the resources to be able to provide for everybody. But there are people in the system who can provide for their children. So if we have good quality data, it can then allow us to do that means testing, separate people, say that the wealthier can pay, and then the government will come in and subsidize for people who cannot pay. And that goes to help everybody. I want to believe that elected officials have in their minds, they want to do good. They want to do good in every sector. And I don't want to minimize that. The challenge comes down to what does it take to actually implement the policies that you want to implement. And in many ways, sometimes, as you rightly point out, of course, we use the term political will, but it's such a broad term. Like, what is the commitment of people to different areas of work? So, for example, if you come in as a leader, like, what exactly are you committed to? And do you have the resources to be able to do that? So you may make a campaign promise about something. Maybe you want to invest more in a particular agricultural sector. Say we want to prioritize pineapple production and we want to invest in that area. The critical thing is, what data do you have to support what you are trying to invest in? Is it the return from investment in pineapple? That is what is driving you to make that decision. Or if you decide to provide free electricity for everybody, what exactly is the return that you're expecting? So data does provide that. But it also comes down, as you said, both the financing, but also the commitment of the elected leaders to be able to do that. And that's where the political will comes in. What kind of commitment do you really have? And sometimes you may have the commitment, but you don't have the resources. And other times you may have the commitment, but you don't have the data to actually back what you're doing. And it can end up just being, as I said, guesswork. Let's try and invest in something and then hope that something good will come out of it. But so the lack of political will in some cases, lack of resources in that case, but also, importantly, the ability to have data that can inform the decisions that you want to make in that process.